Hello, hello, hello. Hello, happy people. How are you today? I'm doing absolutely fabulous. So, today we're going to talk about the path to least resistance. If you don't know what resistance is the refusal to accept or comply with something. Do you know that we could be resisting our blessings, resisting our desires from flowing to us? It's nothing that you do. Who would actually block what they really and truly want to do from coming to you? So it's nothing that you do on purpose. It's usually a learned behavior, something that's embedded in your subconscious mind that's blocking your desires from flowing to you the way that you desire them to. So we know we have this resistance. The first thing to do is to recognize and accept that you may have blocks that are blocking your desires from flowing to you. The way that you can recognize the blocks is to just sit and meditate and allow everything that you desire to come to fruition, everything that you're asking for to arise in you. With that, different types of feelings and emotions may arise also. Different thoughts and things of the past may arise also. So, in recognizing the blocks, you basically need to go back to the behavior that you learned as a child. As far as you can remember, go back to the things that family members said around you, things that you were taught. Write them down. Um, Things that you were taught concerning your desires. Say if you have a desire for money, go back and think of the things that were said around you as a kid growing up. These little cliche words that people say. I've heard one that's like so crazy that says, "I don't have enough money to put cheese on a Whopper." And if you know what a Whopper is a burger. Cheese is only 50 cents. That's a little cliche thing that people say. And usually they say things like that to get a laugh out of someone else when they're not even realizing you're adding a block in your subconscious mind that you don't have enough money. Big one that I can remember in my life, people always saying, "I can't afford that. I can't afford that. I can't afford that car. Oh, I can't afford that house. I like it, but I can't afford it. I can't even afford that dress that I really want. It's beautiful. I would love to have it, but I just can't afford it." Wrong. You can't afford it if you allow it to flow to you. See, God has different ways. I hate to get off the subject of resistance, but I'll be right back. There are different ways that you can be blessed by God or the universe. It doesn't always have to come in the form of paper money. I've seen instances where I've wanted things or I desired things. I thought about it, felt how I would feel if I had that thing, and I let it go. This is just some things now, because some other desires I think hard on, and I may have blocks of my own that I have to work through. But someone could actually see that dress and see you in it and purchase it for you. You could go into the store and that dress is marked down dramatically. And it's just for you. It's the last one and it's in your size. You could get a bonus 1 week and go and get it. Have enough money to actually go and get that dress that you want. It can be gifted to you, as I said before, or you can get it at a discount. You have to be able to allow God, the universe, to bring your blessings to you in the path of least resistance. And if you have resistance, that's what blocks your desires from flowing to you. So the universe, God, will actually find the path of least resistance. Basically, the path that you're not thinking on, or you don't have negative blocks to keep it from coming through. So make a note that there are multiple ways that my desires can come to me. You cannot pinpoint one way a desire can flow to you. That's a note, and that's a totally different conversation. So let me get back to recognizing the blocks. So you go back into your childhood, the furthest you can remember, to the things that people said around you about money, about not being able to afford it, the little jokes that they said about money just to get people to laugh. You going in the store and picking up a toy, your mom saying, no, that costs too much money. Those blocks are embedded in us and they can prevent us from receiving. Because you can have whatever you desire if you just wipe that slate clean. I know it's easier said than done. It's a process. So please do not put too much on yourself. It's a process. So once you recognize the blocks and you've written those blocks down, you will need to go back one by one to remove those blocks. Um, I'll start with mine. Mine was always hearing that things cost too much, or we can't afford that, or um, that's out of our class. That's for higher class people. That's the life that they live. Um, Me not being able to afford anything, honey, I tossed that one out first. I can have whatever I desire. By me saying that, I'm opening myself up to God and to the universe. I'm releasing resistance and allowing God to flow my desires in the best way possible. The best way God knows how. The path of least resistance. Because if I clear those blocks, there isn't any resistance in that lane. Let's think about resistance like a highway, okay? You're riding down the highway and you're in the middle lane. The middle lane has begun to stop and slow down. The first thing you do, it's a natural instinct, is to look to your right and to your left to see if there is a path of least resistance. That stopped traffic is the resistance. So, say the right lane doesn't have any cars in it, but it's a turning lane, and you actually know that way. So, you're going to go to the path of least resistance. That's exactly how our blessings flow. The blockages are just like the cars that are stopped, and we naturally will look for the paths of least resistance. And that's something that you can remember when you're thinking about removing certain blocks. And do not pressure yourself. Do not get mad at yourself. Be at peace. Be at ease. Quiet your mind when you begin to focus on removing those blocks. Get in a meditative state and release those blocks. Affirm over and over the actual opposite of whatever those blocks are, the synonyms. Look up the synonym for affordability. Anyone can think about the opposite of those blocks, saying like affordability, saying I can't afford anything. And I don't even like to say that word, and that's the last time that I will, because I can afford anything. Say the opposite. I can have anything my heart desires. Say it with ease. Say it over and over until it gets down into your spirit. And emotions, happy emotions, at ease emotions begin to arise. Say it over and over so that your conscious mind flows those words that you're putting out into the universe, flows that into your subconscious mind, and it becomes embedded. The subconscious mind is the tape recorder that holds everything that we've ever learned. The conscious mind is the idealist. It receives the new thoughts and new desires. And you have to repeat your new affirmations over and over again and just see it flowing down into the subconscious mind. I think of it like in my head as my brain having two layers. The top part is the conscious mind, the bottom part is the subconscious mind. And I see my new desire flowing down into the subconscious mind as I speak those words. I visualize this. And saying these affirmations, it's best to do it when you're in a calm state, like I said, a meditative state, or maybe when you're laying down about to go to sleep and drifting off to sleep. You do not have to speak them verbally. You can say them within yourself, but just know and affirm who you are. You're blessed. You're abundant. There's an abundant and array of things out here for us to receive, and it's enough for everyone. And once you feel like you've achieved a state of enlightenment with affirming the step number one, move to the next block and move to the next one. Let me tell you, with day-to-day life, there will always be some type of resistance somewhere. But it's up to you if you're going to keep bumping into the same wall over and over again, or you're going to look to find another door to go through. The path of least resistance. And that's just how our blessings flow. So if you have a certain desire, stick to that affirmation to release the resistance within yourself and speak that I am all allowing for God, the universe, to release this resistance within me. I release it to you. And I'm all allowing for you to flow my desires to me, through me. Because all of your desires are within you already. You just have to call them up. And they will flow out into the physical. Now, I hope that you're very blessed by this word on least resistance. I know I have been, because I've thought of other areas that I have resistance in. Then there can be resistance in every area of your life. Just apply this same method and release the resistance. If you can, meditate daily at least 15 minutes a day to release the resistance of the day and affirm that your next day will be glorious. It will be happy. You will have all that you desire to flow to you. The goodness, the good emotions, ease, peace, joy, and happiness. Affirm who you are, your greatness. Be blessed.